The market, well, given that we are stepping into a truncated week next one and a lot of flip-flop on when the next series expiry is going to be, but amidst all of that, here's how we actually fared in yesterday's trading session. Managed to eke out gains of about almost 0.5%. Remember, this week you have seen, while you have seen gains, of course, but that 22,800 mark has been, or rather 23,800 mark has been quite elusive for us. So just circling around that 23,600 print. Yesterday, of course, it was a lot of power which held out. Some of the new age stocks did very well. Infrastructure, cement. The sector churn clearly continues in our markets as well. So yes, we've managed to close above the 100 DMA. The broader markets managed to snap the two-session losing streak as well, and the FIIs, their flock back to the country, and the buying spree that they have been on, that fortunately continues. Now for 6 straight sessions they've been buyers.
So let's look, let's recap first, before we go forward, talk about it. Let's recap. I think the month of March has been nothing short of a momentous month, and I'll tell you why. Because the mood changed from extreme pessimism to, I wouldn't say extreme optimism, but the market in a sense has got its life back. Like they say in Hindi, jaan wapas aa gayi hai, right? So I think the month of March would actually be, in a sense, important because it changed the tone and the tonality of the market. And what started as a bout of short covering thankfully has transpired into a spark of fresh buying. That I think is very important here. If the month of March was all about short covering, reversal in US equities, what will dominate the month of April? And I think the month of April could be strikingly different from what the month of March is, because April will be all about news. April would be about beginning of a year. April would be about earnings. April would be all about high frequency data, update on monsoon, summer. So a lot of news flow I think would be at play. So if technicals were at play in the month of March, I guess news would be at play in the month of April. So I expect that things actually would be strikingly different. What is the other question, Aisha, we are discussing? Will this FI buying momentum sustain?
Yeah.
I mean, everything hinges on that. How much more FIs will buy, and will they continue to buy? Anecdotal data, which is what you look at, and we only look at history to establish a trend, is that when FIs, they typically sell, they sell for many months. And when they buy, they don't just come for a few days. I mean, their buying tends to extend for next couple of days. So I would make a case that the FIs are back and they are here to stay, because the factors which in a sense were detrimental for FI flows, dollar index, earnings, currency, macro, all that is favorable. Now, do they come back in this kind of an, with this kind of an hurrah, or they would be buyer, but they would the contribution would be little? That's hard to fathom. But for me, I guess the turning point, Aisha, would be that a market which was oversold, short sellers were there. For the first time, we've seen evidence of long built up. So how does the market move? Oversold, neutral, long built up, overbought. Are we starting that journey from moving back from neutral to overbought? That is the tricky part, so to speak, in a sense.
That's going to take some time to get back to overbought levels.
Yeah, because, for markets to become overbought, कहते हैं ना काफी सितारे साथ आने चाहिए. That is not going to happen. I mean, markets are not dirt cheap. Participation is not there.
Earnings are not going to spring back to, a year back. Yeah.
So you would say the bias would be positive. Last couple of days, you had to chase the market. You had to stay with the market. Now, next couple of days, you would say, okay, I would buy the dip. So I don't think you want to do buy the dip right now, but you want to chase the market. But net, Aisha, I mean, I'll just give some data here, and then we were looking at the data yesterday. If I say FY26, what's the first impression that comes to your mind in terms of FY25, beg your pardon, which ends today? What's the first impression which comes to your mind when I say small cap has done well or mid cap has done well? Just a bolt out of the blue.
Mid cap.
Okay. Now here's the data. Actually, in this financial year, large caps have done better than small cap. Hello. Look at the data.
So much for the froth that...
See, look at the data.
No, it's mid cap.
7%. I'm just saying, yeah.
I was right. It was the
right.
mid cap
No, actually,
index.
it's my bad. I compared small cap with Nifty. Yeah. So small cap is a 4%. Sensex is a 5. Nifty is a 5. My bad. But again, I mean, Nifty it is not that you got a very massive outperformance in small and mid cap. My limited point here is that this entire...
That's because the last 3 months, all the gains that you sat on got shaved off. If we bring up data till December, the picture would, I think, be a lot different.
But, I mean, what we have to do, where do we stand today? Where we stand today is that small and mid cap stocks are no longer overbought. They were in December, they are no longer overbought. I think that's another point which is, worth revisiting, so to speak.
Yeah. And the gainers, what a performance. BEL, there's of course Shriram Finance, which in this fiscal made its entry into the index. M&M, of course, has been the mighty one from within autos, managed to eke out a gain of over 40%. Bharti has been doing very well. And Trent, even after the kind of relentless selling that the stock has seen from its 52-week highs, remember it even fell sub 5K. It's still in the green of about almost 37% so far this fiscal year. But again, the question is, we're stepping into a very critical month, April. Today is the last trading day for the financial year and for the month as well. What lies ahead, other than, of course, the April 2nd tariff deadline? What are the triggers that the markets could be working with?
So, Aisha, in terms of technicals, just technicals, what does we look at? We nifty kahan ja sakta? You'll say 23,800 becomes this important turning point for the market. You stay above that, you go above that, markets would say breakout. You stay below that, our technical friends would say resistance. Now, will 23,800 break? For that to break, either you need fresh triggers, or you need sustained momentum from FIs, or you need something good which should come in April. My personal sense is that 23,800 would be taken out. April will be better, but it will be only taken out, or it will be broken only after we get a sense of clarity, which is that rather than today, I would say that post 2nd of April, if all goes well, that last bit of relief rally, that last bit of short covering in the market, I think, could be at play. So I expect April to start well. Then there is tariff, then there is RBI policy, then there are earnings. And if nothing nasty comes on the tariff front, which is what the surprise is, I think we could be in for a smooth glide in the month of April at least. Anurag Singh joins us now,
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.